Welcome back to Arpeggio Yoga, back on the East Coast for this episode. In this practice, we are going to do everything from the seated position or on the mat. Some of you will be on your stomach for. We'll do some back bends, easing into some deeper back bends in a later session. But for now, we'll take it easy. This will be an easy practice that's accessible by everybody. So let's get moving. Get started in this practice. Take up an easy seated position. Cross at the ankles or one in front of the other or stack them like fire logs. Ground through your sits bones evenly, your knees to the mat. If you need to place a blanket beneath your hips to raise you up a little bit, to make that a little bit easier to ground the knees, go ahead and do so. Rise up through the spine, through the crown of the head. Gazes forward. You can rest your eyes a little easy as we get started. We are going to move right into the practice today. Hands rest easy on your knees or on your thighs. Just begin deepening your breath. Long, deep inhales, equal long exhalations. Just start taking that focus inward. If you begin losing that focus, you can count the length of your inhalation. And then focus on an equal exhalation. Now, whether you're seated on the mat lengthwise, or I'll demonstrate forward, go ahead and place your legs out in front of you, ankles flexed in a staff pose, hands to your side, flat on the mat. Continue those long inhalations and exhalations. Keep that long breathing through the entire practice. Spine is upright. I'm going to demonstrate these next couple of poses facing the camera, and then when we do the opposite side, I'll turn to the side so you can see it from that angle as well. But let's start by bringing your left foot in, placing the bottom of your left foot on the inside of your right thigh. Still seated straight up, long straight spine. On an inhalation, bring your arms up. Exhale, forward bend, reaching the chest forward toward the foot, toward the ankle. Doesn't matter how far you get. You don't want to arch the back over, but reach out toward the toes. Palms can face together. You don't have to touch anything here. A slight bend in the knee may help you lengthen the spine. We're going for the length of the spine, reaching forward here, as opposed to definitely getting the head on the knee. I have no doubt we can all get our heads to our knees, but I don't want to do that at the risk of curving your spine. So reaching that chest up and forward toward the toes, eventually resting down to the knee. If you can reach your toes, that's great. Ankle, wherever is fine. Keep breathing. On your next inhale, let's come back up. And just take a couple of breaths here. We'll do one more. On your next inhalation, arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Reaching that chest forward. Reaching your fingers, have your palms face each other. Reaching the fingers past the toes or wherever they reach today. One more breath here. And on your next inhale, come back up. Now we're going to do a revolved head to knee pose. I will turn slightly to the side for this one. Keeping the feet positioned as they were previously. Straight up through the spine. But go ahead and turn your shoulders. On an inhale, lift up straight through your spine. And exhale into this revolved side bend. And take a couple of breaths here. Right hand can rest inside your right leg. Get the whole arm flat on the mat if you wish. On your inhales, you can roll your left shoulder back, open the chest to the front. And on your next inhale, come back up and unwind. We'll do one more. Sit back up straight, turn the shoulders on an inhale, arms up, and exhale, fold to the side. On your inhales, roll that left shoulder back, opening your chest to the front. Excellent. On your next inhale, come back up and turn back forward. Now extend your left leg back out and then bring your left foot, cross it over your right leg. Place it on the mat to the right side of your right leg. Left hand goes back, up straight through your spine again, through the crown of your head. And then half king of the Fisher's pose. Let's twist to the left. Continue with your breathing. One more breath here. Excellent. Unwind. Back to staff pose. I'm going to turn now. We're going to go to the right side. I'm going to turn to demonstrate it from this angle. Back to staff pose. From staff pose on this side, bring your right foot into the left thigh, left inner thigh. Still sitting up straight through the spine. On an inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend forward. You may find your flexibility on one side may be greater than the other, or it could be equal. Seems to switch for me. Couple more breaths here. On your next inhale, come back up. Return your hands to your lap. Rest here for a moment. Keep that spine upright, straight. We'll do one more. On your next inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Keep breathing here. On your inhales, you can lengthen your spine. Exhales, extend your stretch further. And on your next inhale, come back up. Return your palms in. Can open up a little bit more. It's easier for this revolved head to knee. We should really call it something different because my head's getting nowhere near my knee. Yours may, and that's great if you're able to reach there. If you're not able to get much further past upright, that's fine too. It's a lot more aspirational than an actual prescriptive pose. So wherever you're at is great. On an inhale, rise up through the spine, open the shoulders to the right. Exhale, fold to the left. Left arm goes inside of the left leg. Continue to bring that right shoulder back. Palm of the right hand's facing down. Pulling that right shoulder back helps shine the chest forward for this side bend. Next inhale, come up. Rest here a moment. Second time on this side. On an inhale, revolve to the right, arms up. Exhale, fold to the left. One more cycle of breath here. And on your next inhale, come back up. And return your hands to your lap. Go ahead and return to staff pose. And from staff pose, let's lift your right leg over. Right foot flat on the mat. Beside your left foot. Twist to the right. Right hand goes behind to this right side, half King of the Fishers pose. Fishes pose. Seems like it should just be fish. That's plural too, right? Maybe it's half King of the Fishies. Keep breathing here. A lot of good twists and bends in this practice. It's going to be challenging and heat producing all their own. On your next inhale, rise back up and release back to staff pose. Inhale, arms up, forward fold, seated. Exhale. You can grab the ankles wherever you're at, it's fine. You can grab the toes if you can reach. Or you can just extend your fingers past the feet. 2 more breaths here. And on your next inhale, rise back up. Return to staff pose. Place your hands back a few inches, flat, fingers pointed toward your toes. This is upward plank. Point your toes, engage the legs, rolling those thighs, hips inward, raising from the hip points, straightening the arms, lifting the chest forward, rolling the shoulders back, letting the head drop, neck bend back gently, Point the toes further if you can, or slightly flexed. Lifting those hips. Let's hold it for a couple more breaths. And release slowly. Back to staff pose. And now we're going to go into a forward fold over a butterfly pose, or some would call this bound angle. Forward fold. Bottoms of your feet together in front of you, sitting upright through the spine. Big inhale. And on exhale, fold forward. Keep breathing here. Walk your fingers forward if it's available. Lengthen the spine on your inhales. Extend your fold on the exhale. On your next inhale, let's come back up. Take a break here for a moment. You can grasp your toes. Bring them up towards your chest. Deepen that stretch in your inner thighs. Let's do one more. On an inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward fold. On your next inhale, rise back up and release your feet. Come back to an easy seated position. Hands on your knees. Let's just take a couple restful breaths here. Let's swing around to tabletop now. And in one of our later practices, we are going to move into some deeper back bends. For now, we're going to work our way into locust pose from the down position. Later, we'll add to bow pose. Easy for me to say. If bow pose is already in your practice, you can certainly move to there as we move through this. For the rest of us, we will ease our way through a number of practices to get there. Right now, exhale and lower the body, your chest all the way down to the mat. Keep your hands and your elbows tucked into the sides, hands flat on the mat. And on an inhale, lifting your chest into a low cobra. Lifting that chest up and forward. This isn't a push-up. You're not doing the work with your hands. They're just there for stability. And you're tightening all the way down the spine, through the glutes. Tops of your feet remain on the mat. Exhale, lower that back down. We'll do one more. You can rest your head to the side. A couple of deep breaths here. On your next inhale, lift the chest up and forward into low cobra. Feel those muscles tighten all the way down the back. Feel them engage all the way down the back, through your glutes, through your hamstrings, holding the body upright. And exhale, lower back down. Excellent. Extend your arms to your sides behind you. Again, if bow pose is already in your practice, you can lift your feet up, grab the ankles, and go into that full bow pose right now. The rest of us, very similar to what we just did with low cobra. On an inhale, lifting your chest, float up and forward. And now, hands off to the side of your thighs and lift the feet. Internally rotate the legs so you can engage those low back muscles through your glutes. Your legs should be deeply engaged right now. Keep breathing. And on exhale, release that. We'll do one more. You can rest your hands or your forehead on your hands, back of your hands, if that's comfortable for you. You can even do a locust variation where we lift with our hands, backs of our hands to our forehead. I find that a bit more challenging than the way we just did it. So I'm going to do it the way we just did it. Extend your arms back beside your legs if you've moved them. And on your next inhalation, rise up into locust. The gaze goes forward. Remember to keep those legs engaged, rolling those thighs inward. It's going to help engage those lower back muscles. One more breath here. And on your next exhale, go ahead and release that. From here, place your palms back on the mat, push back to child's pose. As remember, if you need to widen your knees, you can do that. It's a little bit more comfortable. Keep the toes untucked, forehead on the mat. In a later session, we're going to go into a twisted child's pose. But we're going to work our way toward that. So for now, you can walk the fingers forward and then walk them to the right. Let this bend start in your upper back. So a straight spine until about mid-back. And then we'll bend to the right. Those left fingertips should go out a little bit further than your right. Feel that stretch through your left side body. Couple of breaths here. And then walk it back center. Take it back out a little further if you need. And then walk them to your left. Again, walk the right a little further than your left. Keep your shoulders equal distance above the mat. You don't want to round out. Keep it flat here. Get that stretch through the right side body. Keep your hips even above the mat as well. That'll help push that bend to the mid to upper back. Get a better stretch in the right side body. Excellent. Walk it back to the center. And come back up to child's pose, and then upright from there. Thunderbolt, I believe they call this one. From here, we're just going to lift upright. I'm going to take it a little bit further to the middle of the mat. Wherever you're at is fine. Eventually, we're going to work into a camel pose, a deep back bend, pushing the chest and torso forward, back to the heels. It's a very deep bend that I don't want to get into just yet. If it's already in your practice, feel free to go ahead and do it. For the rest of us, we're going to do a variation on camel, hands on the backs of your hips. So we'll still get that motion of pushing the torso forward, lifting the chest up and forward. On an inhale. With this back bend on your inhale, you can deepen the bend. Again, trying to keep the hips stacked straight above your knees, not bending back this way. Ultimately, we want to push the hips forward. On your next exhale, let's bring it back to Thunderbolt. We're going to do one more of these. Go ahead and rise up. Hips stacked above the knees in this camel variation. On an inhale, arms to the tops of your hips in the back. Push the hips forward, lift the chest up and forward. Let the head and neck drop back. Nice stretch through the neck. Probably hear a difference in my voice from this position. It's one way to get me to shut up. One more cycle of breath here. And lower back down to Thunderbolt. Let's go ahead and swing your legs back around front. And slowly lower the body down to the mat. We've done bridge pose before. Ultimately, we're going to work toward a full wheel. But again, it's another deep back bend that we're going to work our way toward. Bring your feet, bottoms of your feet, just below your hips, just beneath your buttocks, maybe 6 to 8 inches. Your sacrum's flat on the mat. Your palms are flat against the mat. Going into this bridge pose, pushing down on the palms of your hands and the base of your feet, lifting the hips up, engaging those legs thoroughly, rotating the legs, your thighs internally. Don't let the knees splay out. Right? Rotate those thighs internally to bring the knees together. Continue to lift those hips up. You can tuck the chin toward your chest slightly. And roll the shoulder blades beneath your chest. Let's hold this for a couple of breaths. And on your next exhale, we'll lower back down to the mat. Let's do one more of these. Again, this is easing our way into these deeper back bends. And with bow pose, when we're on our stomachs, it's the same C shape, inverted C shape with our bodies that we'd get if we were in camel, as we'd get if we did a full wheel pose. Just in different positions, the way our body's sitting against the mat. Again, we're going to work our way toward that. On your next inhale, engage the palms, base of your feet. Lift your hips up, engage those legs. Internally rotate the thighs. Keep those knees together. Nice straight line from your knees down to your shoulders. You can roll your shoulder blades beneath your chest. Interlace your fingers if that's available to you. And then pulling those fingers toward your heels. Get a little bit of a stretch in the front of your shoulder, part of your pectorals as well. Two more breaths here. Excellent. Bring your palms back to the mat and slowly lower your sacrum flat to the mat. Why don't we do a quick wind release pose here? We're doing a lot of back bending. Bring your knees, both knees up. You can either roll your head up toward your knees and just roll the sacrum out a little here. Excellent. From here, we're going to go into a shoulder stand. I'm going to scoot down the mat slightly so I've got room for what comes next. Try not to kick over too many things. I don't have the full backyard in Arizona anymore at my disposal. So from where we were at the end of bridge, bring your knees toward your chest. Keep those palms planted. You want to engage on those palms just until you get the sacrum lifted up. Then you can put your hands at the base of your spine. Walk those fingers up so you reach your toes toward the ceiling, either flexed or pointed. Tuck the chin toward the chest slightly. And continue to walk your fingers up your back toward your neck, toward your mid-back, as you get your shoulder stand a little straighter. Okay, we'll hang here, upside down for a couple more breaths. Excellent. Now we're going to go into plow pose. Bring your knees down toward your head. And let your feet extend out beyond. Interlace your fingers behind you, pulling away from your head toward the other side of your mat to counterbalance your toes, plowing over in the opposite direction. Feel that opening up your spine, each vertebrae a little more separated, all the way from the sacrum to the base of your neck. Excellent. Slowly and carefully roll this back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Until you are extended again. Recenter myself on the mat. Depending where I drop the edit, that might have looked a little weird. I got levitated. Believe me, I cannot. With legs extended in front of you, palms planted on the mat again. You're going to lift up the torso and chest on an inhale, fish pose. Coming up on your elbows, bending the neck back, resting gently back down, crown of your head. Continue to lift the torso and the chest up. The gaze goes out over your head, over the top of your mat. And point your toes going the opposite direction. Staying engaged in those forearms. Give you the support. Don't hurt your neck here. Go ahead and lift that back up. Release the head and lower back down to the mat. From here, we'll go into Savasana, corpse pose. Go ahead and separate your legs, rock them side to side. Make sure there's no obstructions around them. Move your arms out to your sides. Palms facing up, pull your shoulder blades beneath your chest. Rock your head side to side. Find a nice balanced position for it in the center. And go ahead and deepen your breath. Relax your breath. Slow it down. Wow, this was all from seated. We didn't have any real strenuous poses like when we do lunges or going through sun salutations that really warm the body up. The title of this session being an easy seated sequence. A little bit of a misnomer. They're simple poses, but I wouldn't say they're easy, and they do challenge you a bit in new ways. There's some new poses for many of us. Not undoable, and it's all part of the goal of getting into some deeper back bends later. But I know I, for one, got a little bit heated up during this session. During this practice. Continue to focus in on the breath, slowing it, deepening it, turning your heart rate to normal. Nice, slow, steady breaths. If you need a little bit more time in Savasana today, pause the video here and rest a little longer. For the rest of us, when you're ready, let's roll to our side, your favorite side. My favorite side is the one that points toward you. I'm glad you're here to practice with me. Then slowly rise back up to an easy seated position. Yeah, that wasn't easy at all, was it? But it was a good one. I'm really feeling it throughout my entire body. A lot of good twists and back bends in this practice. I hope you enjoyed it too, that it challenged you in some way, but also reaffirmed your ability, the abilities you have in your body. Everybody is different. Everybody. Purposeful pun put in there. But you just take the poses where you can take them. Wherever you take them, that's perfect. I'll try to guide you in a way to get deeper into the poses, but never take them beyond your current ability. And you'll be surprised how quickly you gain just by not pushing it too much. So I'm glad to have you here. If you liked the video, even if you didn't, I still would appreciate a like on the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the button to get notifications of when new videos come out. I'm releasing them 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, beginning of 2021, to get 21 practices in these first 7 weeks of 2021. I hope you join me for a future episode. There are links in the bio or links in the description where to get merch. Merch has come in. My Arpeggio Yoga t-shirts are in. They cost $20.21 throughout the month of January 2021. I only pull a little bit of profit off those, but every little bit helps keep the show in production. So again, thank you so much for joining me today. Be well. Namaste.